Yo, what is up, guys? UpLyft Knightt here, having a great day so far. So, as you guys can see in the title, this is why I personally think Apex Legends is the best Battle Royale game as of right now, especially right now, because I feel like Fortnite and all these other Battle Royale games kind of fell off the map, in my opinion. And I feel like Apex is just kind of coming back into my life. I used to play it a little bit, not too much, but now I kind of got back into it. And yeah, I wrote a huge list on my phone of kind of like the things I like and don't like about the game, but mainly well, I should say not like, but a lot of things I love about the game, and then there's only like two things that I don't necessarily care for about the game, and I wish it could kind of be changed. But so what we're gonna do, guys, is get, like a whole list, and I'm gonna start with the negatives because there's only a few negatives, and I'm gonna leave you guys with a positive note so you guys can be like, okay. But all right, so let's get started. Oh crap, I just started a new page. Let's get started with the negatives that I personally have in the game, and that's pretty obvious. I feel like the main one that really is kind of annoys me, not really annoying, but like it's not a huge deal. I don't mind it necessarily, but it's kind of like I think there should be more game modes, kind of like Fortnite and all these other battle royale games. They have like at least solos and duos and squads. You know, like I know this game went kind of something different, like with trios or whatever you want to call that. There's not really a name. I think it's just called Apex. But basically trios, meaning like you only have a squad of 3. But I would think that would be a good idea if they did like maybe a squads of 4, if anything. If they're gonna add some game mode, I'd prefer squads of 4, so you can have more people in there because I have a lot more friends than 2 more friends just to play with. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a good idea just to have. And the other thing is not really a huge deal. I think it just could be an opinion in my, but I feel like some of the map locations are not really distinctive. Meaning like when you play Fortnite, I don't want to play Fortnite anymore, but at least when you played Fortnite, you could know the location you're gonna go to, and like it's pretty obvious where everything is, and like you know everything by heart. I feel like this game kind of looks similar in multiple places, and that's not really, it could be just opinion, I don't know, but I feel like there should be like more distinctive locations, kind of like how Salty Springs in Fortnite, or a Lazy Lagoon, or Fatal Fields, you know, like just kind of things like that. You know what I'm trying to say, guys? That's only the two negatives I have in this game. But also, the next thing, I have two different categories for these positives. I have a minor thing, meaning like it's not huge, but I enjoy it, I appreciate it, and major, meaning I love it for this game specifically, and that's why it's my favorite Battle Royale game. Okay, so let's start with the minor. So the first thing is I feel like all the characters have very distinctive like personalities. Like a perfect example is when you like talk to someone and say thank you in the game. Like say someone found an item for you, you say thank you. They respond like with a funny gesture, and I really think that's hilarious. And they don't sound the same. You know, they don't sound like casual war people. They sound like just regular people that got put into this mess somehow. Which I don't know if that's the whole story. They don't have a story from what I know of, but I mean, I think it's just really awesome. They're kind of like casual people playing the game, like in the game, you know. I also really enjoy the soundtrack. At least I know I'm probably like a soundtrack nerd, I know, but I really enjoy it because it has like a very compelling soundtrack, and it just really brings you in when you first start the game. It's like like it's so simple, but like, it is really good. I don't know. The next thing is that sliding is extremely fun. This is, like I said, definitely not a huge deal, but I think the sliding in this game is very satisfying, especially when you're going down the hill. It is like, it's like awesome. I love how you can slide in this game. It's a great feeling. The next thing is not a big deal, obviously, but I think when you punch someone, it feels like you like knock their head off because it's like we're doom. I just love the feeling. It's a great feeling when you punch someone. The next thing I actually really enjoy, but it's not a huge thing, but it's a really good addition, I think, and that this game is very vibrant. And this is what I think kind of set me to this game more than other Battle Royale games, because like Blackout from Black Ops 4 was a really dull looking game, and it's really ugly to look at in my opinion. This game whatsoever is like very vibrant, very saturated, and I really enjoy that feature of it. Like I feel like you can just kind of look at the game and be like, man, this is great. Because if I'm not mistaken, Respawn also made this game. Hold on, let me see. I'm sorry guys. I'm just really curious. I think Respawn also made Apex as well. So let me see. Yep, okay, I'm right. Yep, Respawn Entertainment, who makes Titanfall, or that's what they're most famous for. They made Titanfall. It has a very Titanfall kind of feel to it, and that's what I really appreciate about it. And then the last thing in the minor category is that it feels very smooth. Everything feels very smooth when you do it. Nothing feels like jittery and laggy, and it feels like just like you can just play casually and just have a good time on it, which I think is one of the best part about the games. What about this game specifically? Now we're on to the major category, so meaning this is the things that I really appreciate in the game that I'm glad this game has over the other Battle Royale games. And the first thing right off the bat, I know it's nothing huge, but for me, I really enjoy it, and that's that you can auto lock onto your team members when you're falling from the sky. I don't know what the name would be. When you're falling from the sky, you can lock on to your teammates so you can go where they're going. So let's say you're going to drink and you're like, I'll be right back, guys. You can just follow them when they're falling down and you guys can land in the same area, which I think is a great addition and very smart because Fortnite and none of the other games did that from what I know of, at least. I don't know if Blackout did it or not, but this is from what I know, you know. And this next thing is pretty self-explanatory, pretty obvious, and that's Apex packs. That's a weird word. Apex packs are not pay to win, meaning it's just cosmetic items. You're not going to get anything that's going to give you an advantage in the game, which is obviously a great idea. Same like with Modern Warfare's supply drops, they made it where it's cosmetic only, which I really appreciated as well. Don't really care for the game as much, but I do enjoy that fact. And what I meant by this next one, I mean by all characters are very diverse, and I mean like they don't feel forced by a race kind of way. Like I feel like a lot of these movies and games put in like certain races just to make them look good. If you know what I'm saying. I know it sounds weird to say it like that, but I feel like kind of like race changes and stuff like that. I feel like they made their own original cast, and it feels very great to play as, and they don't feel forced whatsoever. Their own new original cast. They don't. I'm trying to think of how I should say it. They just don't feel forced. That's all I'm trying to say, guys. And I really appreciate that the races feel very normal and they flow with the game very smoothly. And they all have their distinctive personality, like I said earlier, and they all are very extremely fun to use. I feel like all of the characters that you can just kind of get used to, and I really enjoy that factor of the game. My favorite personally right now is Wraith and Pathfinder. I love those two characters. They're, like who would put a robot in there and some kind of, I don't even know what you would call a Wraith. Like what would she be? Like psychic kind of thing about her. I don't even know what she's classified as, but that's what I just love that fact. And then you got a healer, and then you got a big shield guy. You got all these kind of guys, kind of like an Overwatch thing, but implemented into a battle royale game, which I really think is a great idea, obviously. The next thing is, like I said, kind of just a second ago. I feel like this game's pretty easy to get used to, especially compared to like Fortnite. Fortnite took me ages to get used to, especially with the building aspect of the game. But this game's kind of pretty self-explanatory. You run and gun, you run around, you get some abilities, and it's pretty much that's it. And I forgot to say this in the minor category really quick. I really enjoy the storm. I don't know what it's called in this game. Or the shield. I don't remember what it's called, but I really enjoy that because it's like you can see through it, and it's not like kind of annoying to go look through it. You know, you can look straight through it, and you can see people through it. I think it's a really good feature, personally, to me. Okay, now into the major category again. I feel like not a lot of tryhards don't play the game as much as Fortnite and all that stuff. Like I said, it's kind of a casual game. You can just play, and you won't experience a lot of tryhards. Most people are kind of the same level, I feel like, as most people in the game. And I know this kind of sounds weird to say that specifically, but I feel like everyone kind of has the same skill gap if you're at least a decent enough player to get used to it. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing, as of right now, that I can think of personally, is that the firing range is fast and fun to play with your friends. And I know other Battle Royale games did this. I'm not saying this is the best version of it, but I think it's a great addition to any Battle Royale game because it's very fast. You get to choose all your guns that they have in the game. I think you just slide down the hill, you get all the guns you can choose from in the whole game, you get all the attachments you want, and you can just play with your friends. And I think that's a great addition to the game. So that, guys, is why I think Apex Legends is my favorite Battle Royale game as of right now. Like I said, it could change, but I really enjoy all these features so much right now. And yeah, guys, please let me know what you guys think about Apex Legends in general. Is it your favorite Battle Royale game, or is it not? Let me know what you guys think about the video, everything. Hope you guys have a great day, and peace.